This is a great point of difference, this cake, and I love the idea of making things that wow people, like my partner Scott. He gets wowed by this sort of thing. Okay, we're going to make the base first. Now I'm going to use a different cake tin this time. I'm not going to line it. Okay, it's one of these ones. Easy peasy. We want a sticky texture so it actually gets together nicely down there. Don't know what that means, but yay! Okay, let's do this. We need some dates. Definitely need some dates. These lovely, lovely sweet dates. Okay. Definitely need some coconut for the flavour of this. This is great, this shredded coconut. Look at it, it's just lovely. Gonna need some sunflower seeds. I tell you, I think someone who invented these jars needs to invent them again because they keep twisting on me. See what I mean? It's crazy, right? Okay, we're gonna need some cacao because it is a chocolate sweet potato cake. Now we want some psyllium, and this will just hold this really well, bind things together. And so will the chia seeds, actually. They'll do the same thing. Then we need some cinnamon, because cinnamon and chocolate and sweet potato is just delicious. Nice big splash of this. I think it's nearly time to blend up some more cinnamon. So what I do is I take the cinnamon from over here, right, and I blend it and then pop it into here. It's really awesome. So I've constantly got it on tap. And this just snaps off. Check this out. It just snaps off beautifully. It's quite amazing. And then just blend it, put it in here, and then I don't get all the chunky bits come through because of this nice fine sieve. So this is, oh, it's so good. Here, smell that, Ruben. It's smell-o-vision. So a nice good splash of this. All right, what else do I need on this recipe? I'm looking at my recipe. It's quite a long recipe, this one. Some cacao nibs. Just for that texture and that crunch of chocolate coming through. Nearly out of cacao nibs. Oh, look out. And some maple syrup for sweetener and for binding, just to bring it all together. And I'm going to need some water as well. So it's quite a lot of ingredients in this one. Now, if you don't have all this ingredients, it doesn't matter. As long as you have the dates, the coconut, the sunflower seeds, the cacao and the sweetener, you're fine. If you don't have the other ones, don't panic. It's okay. And I love to say that to people because a lot of people go, oh, what's the substitute, or what's the alternative, or what do I do when I don't have it, and how do I, how do I make the recipe? And I always encourage you, and this is where my skill set is, you can swap ingredients around as long as you follow those base ingredients like I said. Okay, let's give this a whiz first, and then we'll add the maple and the water. Okay. Now check this out. It's really fine. It's almost like a crumb, and there's chunks of dates in there. This smells so good. Oh, it's so good. I can smell the sweetness of the dates coming through when it's blended up with the cacao. It's so great. So it's awesome. Now I'm going to add that maple in there. And I'm going to add that water and a pinch of salt. And this will just bind it all together. It's really quite lovely. Just salt. And then our base is done. How quick is this? And this is the whole point of creating this series for you guys at home, is that it has to be quick and it has to be sustainable and the ingredients have to be accessible. And this is what I love. And I love sweet potato, and I think that mixed with chocolate and coconut really gives that decadent strength, that decadent, rich, thick texture. True story. All right, let's whiz. Okay, let's have a look at this. Now this is coming together nicely. Check this out. Nice and chocolatey. It's got that little bit of stickiness to it. It's not quite binded up just yet. We want it to be a little bit more. Oh, that is good. And that little bit of cinnamon, oh my goodness. I'm looking at the people staring in the background. They're like, oh yeah, bring it on. Bring it on. All right, we're ready to roll. I'm excited. This is really nice. Super duper nice. Great recipe. All right. I'm just going to wet my hands. I encourage you to do that with a lot of raw slices. If you're feeling like, I can tell straight away this is going to be sticking to my hands, so I wet my hands. Some slices that are really fine and there's a really fine crumb to it. Doesn't happen as much, but this, yeah. Wow, look at this. Okay. Shoulders back. Are you ready? Spread it around. Get it all nice and even. It's like chocolate dirt with an edge. That was a Kiwi accent then. An edge. Okay, now I'm going to press down, starting in the middle, squeezing in a little. Oh yeah, this is good. So press all this down till it's completely even. It'll take you about a minute, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, this would have to be my favourite cake. And I know I say that a lot, it's kind of like a surfer. They go out every morning and they come home, and it's like, I caught the best wave ever. And I'm like, yeah, you said that yesterday, dude. I'm a cake surfer. True story. Okay, nice and even. Now with these pans that have that beautiful tart rippling edge, get your finger and just push down. Yeah, so you get a nice even. And this is great for kids. This is called units of time. When you want kids to, when kids are kind of hanging out at home and they're a bit restless, bring them in and get them to do these ones. And they might just take quite a bit of time, but it's units of time, right? Keeps them active. Okay, that's fantastic. Now, if you find that you've got too much of this in there for your tart tin or for whatever tin, that's okay. Just roll it into a ball, pop it in the freezer or the fridge, and have it as a snack. Take it to work. It's really yummy, that base, just on its own. All right, let me clean up my area, and we'll get to the filling. Okay, we are. No, wait a minute. We are done. Done. Check it out. Nice and thin. Nice and sticky. All right, let's get on to this part. So you're going to need a blender. And you're going to need some sweet potato. Now, my friend Katut got this sweet potato. And she steamed it for us, which is awesome. And it's got the skins on. And that's what you want. It's perfect. Okay, so we need 220 grams. Scales. Scales, people, scales. We want 220 grams of this delicious sweet potato. Perfect. So that's that much. Now we need some almond butter. Where's my almond butter? Okay, here it is. This is going to be very delicious. Now I've done this in a magic bullet in batches, okay? So you can do it if you don't have a high-speed blender, but you are going to definitely need to have something with a bit of speed to it. Because it needs to really get in there and chop this up because it's quite gooey. Okay, that's the last of the almond butter. And now we need our sweetener. So I'm going to use some honey. It's taking forever. It's when diaphragmatic breathing comes in. Are you breathing, Gungun? Not up here, on your belly. Everybody breathe together. And you at home as well. Ah, so relaxed and present. Okay, we're going to need some coconut oil. Ah, it definitely brings a calmness to one's sweet potato cake. Okay. Going to need some coconut sugar just to marry those two sugars together like I've talked about before. It just adds that extra flavour. We don't need a spoon actually. Someone's sneezing out there. Oh, bless you. Okay. And now we're going to need some shredded coconut. This is why you need a high-speed blender for this one, because there's quite a lot of goo in here, you know what I'm saying? It's not so liquidy and watery. Now, did we put our cacao powder in? I can't remember. I don't think so. Okay. All right. We are on. Oh, that's pretty weird. It's like a puzzle. Okay. All right, you're going to need this for sure. So let's just take this back a minute. If you don't have a high-speed blender and you're making this, there's a few things you can do. You can use a bar mix and make sure your bar mix is in a what do you call that? Not a utensil? Container. Going to make sure it's in a container that's long, okay? So you have a small, it's round here and it's not a wide bowl. So that's the first thing you do. If you're using a magic bullet, do it in batches. Okay. If you're using a food processor, make sure you blend it down quite a bit. It could split and you might have to add water, which is totally fine. But the food processor will still, it won't get it as fine as this. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's totally fine to have a bit of texture. Okay, it's totally okay. So just see how you go. So you can use different equipment. So don't freak out. We are going to take you through that. What sort of equipment to use and what you have at home and what you can use with these desserts. So don't panic and don't run out there and buy an expensive piece of equipment, even though this is probably the best thing I ever bought in my entire life was one of these. And I've had this since 2010, actually, this piece of equipment, and it's fabulous. Okay, enough rambling, let's blend. I've got everything in there. I'm just reading my recipe. Yes, okay. Plugging it in is really important. Okay, let's have a look. Puts a lot of, strain on this blender, so you want to be really mindful. Let's get a knife in there of how you do this. It's such a good cake. So just take the top part to the bottom. Now we don't want this super fine, okay? It's a gooey, sweet, chocolatey, fudgy kind of sweet potato cake. It's quite extraordinary, this one. Okay, let's have a taste, see where we're at. Yummy. Just needs that bit of pinch of salt. Let me just wash my hands. Okay, let's keep going with this. So stopping and starting your machine. This is very gooey, it's very thick, it's very rich. If you feel you need to add a splash of water, add a splash. I mean, I might add a splash of water because I'm feeling like it needs it. Just a splash. Okay, we're back on. Alrighty. So this really is a real fudgy cake. Yummy. Perfect. I will wash my hands and we will put this in here. Oh, the texture's delicious. And once this sets in the fridge, you'll feel that coconut crunch come through, which is awesome. Spatula. Look at this gooiness. It's amazing. Very different from the other cakes. It's super, super gooey. Get this out. Takes a bit of muscle, doesn't it? Having utensils around you on tap like this instead of opening drawers and stuff, I find so much easier when you're cooking. And I'm going to say it again, if you have cupboard doors and drawers in your house, take them all off. Invent something like I've done. I've just got a copper rod across here. Put that there. I've done this in the tiniest of kitchens. When I lived in Sydney, I did the same thing. It's epic. I rented a house, I just took everything off, put it into storage. And when I left the house, I just put it all back on. Okay, get this off. Now the more chocolate powder you put in here, the richer it's going to be. So it's up to you, but definitely follow the recipe, but it's up to you. See how gooey it is? It's amazing. And that's the sweet potato. Quite amazing. It's like a natural fudge. It's amazing, hey? Seen anything like this before? Pardon?
No. It just does look like chocolate fudge.
It does look like chocolate fudge.
I don't think you need to have a drink. Your voice is starting to crack.
My voice is starting.
Very sexy.
I have a sexy voice. I just want to get those last bits off there. All right. Being a little bit pedantic there. All right, we'll leave that for someone to lick the bowl. Okay. Okay. All right. You want to wet this because when you wet it, you won't get that, it won't stick to it as much. Well, actually, it will. Wait a minute. You need to oil it. That's what you need to do. Let's oil that. So just want a tiny little bit of oil on there. There we go. That's better. There we go. This is amazing. Take this to a barbecue or a party. So press it all down until you get an even layer, and then we'll look at decorating it. Okay, check it out. So I've just put that oil in that cup, and what that gives me is a good even layer. Now just take your time. Don't go as fast as me, okay? I'm skilled in the area of scraping. Okay. All those bits off the side. Now, what can you do with this? This is the next piece. You could do anything you like with this. You could, oh my goodness, what could you put on there? Let's have a look what's in the background. Anything could go on this. You could put something that's really going to pop it with colour. I would say our beautiful roasted coconut. It's just going to really pop this with colour. I would take it in my hand and scrunch it, and I would probably just go around the rim of this. Now this is a gooey, remember this is a gooey fudge sweet potato cake. Okay. Now if you've got seeds, nuts, dried fruit, anything you want to decorate it with, go for it. And anybody that comes up with something different, please put your picture in the Facebook group or in the comments below, whatever's easy for you. The best thing about sharing ideas is we all get to learn, which is really awesome. And the best thing about learning is we get to know stuff. And knowledge is just beautiful. So to praxis something is to actually do it and be it. And gnosis is to know it, you know. It's quite amazing. Check this out. I love this. This is super cute. I could just play for ages. So I'm going to go now and leave you guys with it. And I'm going to set this in the fridge. And yeah, I'm going to eat it for breakfast. I'm going to take it to work for a snack. I'm going to take it to the office. Enjoy. I'm just going to keep playing. Enjoy this. Oh, I'm deserted out. Is that possible? Has everyone had enough desserts?
No.
No.
No. Not of yours.
I am. One after the other, after the other, after the other. Okay, this is set beautifully. Yummy, delicious. It's really fudgy, this one, because that sweet potato creates that consistency, like I said before. Now getting it out of the tin. Oh, is the trick. Here we go. Just watch your fingers on this because it can be quite sharp. Okay, that was hard actually. Okay. Look at it, isn't it lovely? I don't even want to cut it, but I will. Freezes really well. So if you leave it as a whole cake or cut it up into slices so you have that on tap, it's awesome. What you can do, I love the idea of drizzling more chocolate over this as we go. Let's grab a knife and let's cut this up. Let's go half first so we have an even playing field. Wow, it's very fudgy. Maybe we should rename it to the sweet potato fudge cake. And then let's go into a quarter. And then let's take just a slice out of here and bring that out. Just have a look at that. Perfect. Yum. Different. Beautiful. You'll love this. And look at this. Look at this texture. How amazing is that? And that sweet potato is just like, it's just binded so well. It's quite amazing. Oh, yum. I really enjoy this. This is amazing. Okay, I'm going to have a cup of tea. I'm going to have a break. And I'm going to eat this slice of cake. You could get at least, I mean, that's big enough for one serve. You could get at least, I don't know, 5, 10, 20, 30 slices out of this, easy. Okay, and freezer friendly, Ziploc bag, dated. This is something different. This is a really cool crust on here. And it's so tasty. There's something about it. It's really delicious and quite fudgy. It's good. It's super good. Okay, cup of tea and sit down time now. I'll see you in the next episode. Oh, it's so good. Hi, Millie. I love you, Millie. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Okay, technical. All right. Maybe I'll double check that.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one is one.
Should I clap?
Do not put that in, Millie. So, Millie, take it from here. Don't you, Millie? You love it.
Cut.